heretic. A lordshipper is a lordship heretic. Another way I've described his type of heresy is compartmentalized sinless perfectionism or partial sinless perfectionism, which means that he teaches that he can know if somebody is saved based off of the doctrine. So if somebody teaches a false gospel, Jacksmack will say 100% the lord's going to hell, which is wrong. And that's how lordshippers operate. Lordshippers will go, well, it's like, yeah, if a person is really saved, they're going to have the right type of fruits. A truly saved person is going to have the fruits to show them stuff like this. So I don't have to get too bogged down in the lordship term. The issue is that it's heresy. So Jacksmack is teaching heresy by saying that he can know 100% whether somebody is saved or not, based on what they are teaching, when in reality you cannot know 100%. A person can be saved and teach heresy. A person can be saved and teach a false gospel. So all these times where Jacksmack goes in his videos, 100% this person is going to hell, 100% this person is lost, they're going to hell, he's committing heresy, he's teaching heresy. The truth is, and how to really deal with false gospel heretics, would be to say that the gospel is false, and if they only believe their own false gospel the whole time and never the real one time, then they're lost. So what is another heresy from Jacksmack? The crossless gospel. He's been sharing a crossless gospel, which is a false gospel. What does the Bible say about sharing false gospels? If any make another gospel than that which we present, let it be cursed. So Jacksmack has been sharing the false gospel from the Grace Evangelical Society. And I call the Grace Evangelical Satan sometimes, because anybody preaching a false gospel is serving Satan. So beware, Jacksmack is a wicked person, is immature and childish on top of that. It's like nobody who's a quality person would be a long-term fan, listener of Jacksmack. So Jacksmack's heresies, false gospel, crossless gospel, and lordship. You call it lordship. Lordshippers typically teach that they can tell by your fruits if you're saved or not. So people like Brian Denninger, for example, has this lordship vibe. I haven't listened to his videos for a long time. His rebranding comes a born again barbarian now. But one of his heresies that are taught is like, yeah, if a person is truly saved, yeah, they will sin, but it's like there's certain sins. It's like if somebody has been saved for many years, they say they've been saved many years and they're still getting drunk or they're watching porn. It's like, I'm down and they say or something. That is the point. Jacksmack is a heretic, a wicked heretic. And he doesn't like that I've been exposing him, other people have been exposing him. Which is why he needs to project and falsely accuse me of teaching heresy, even though I don't. And he's so pathetic, clutching at straws, where he takes a video that I made making fun of people that teach what he does. And it's so dishonest, he pretends like a joke that I made was serious. And interesting enough, he's falsely accusing me of teaching what he's been teaching that I've been exposing him for. So, Jacksmack is a false gospel giving heretic. He's been sharing the crossless gospel, and he still has his crossless gospel videos up on his channel, which means he's still preaching that false gospel on his YouTube channel every day. And he teaches heresy. Oh, you think you can get me triggered by leaving a like and remove it? Oh, I'm crashing out, I'm crying over here. Oh no, somebody left a like and removed it to try to trigger me. Oh. Så den hittar spåren efter Flash Persecuted, hittar spåren efter Spirit Demons all this now. So Jacksmack is a heretic, and he hasn't exposed me of any heresy, but I've exposed him thoroughly as a heretic, and he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that there's people that are not blind and deceived and know true doctrine and can tell his false doctrine. So Jacksmack teaches heresy. He teaches that he can know 100% if somebody's saved. Anytime he makes a video, this person is going to hell, 100%. That's heresy. That's heretical. It's a heretical practice, because you cannot know 100% if somebody's saved or not. A person can be saved and teach a false gospel. So Jacksmack is taught there's just no way a truly saved person can believe and teach what this person is teaching and be truly saved. That's error. That's wrong. That's heresy. The truth is a person can get saved by believing the real gospel once and later on fall into believing and teaching a false gospel. So there's no quality Christians to listen to Jacksmack. There's nobody who's a quality Christian. He's mature and has discernment, and he's like a mature believer. There's going to be a long-term follower and supporter of Jacksmack. And he's under the curse of being a heretic. So if he's saved, it's extremely sinful. And I don't think he's going to be happy. I don't think he's going to be happy about being a heretic. It's pretty simple. Jacksmack makes videos. 100% this person is going to hell. Based off of what? That they are right now giving a false gospel. What is the truth? A person can give a false gospel and be saved, which means it's heresy. He's teaching falsehood. And that's the truth. And I don't care what people think. You can stay wrong and jump off a cliff with this blind leader. It's also very immature. Where he makes videos, and it's like a big part of ideas with heretics is make this silly, goofy parody videos. And unlike me, doesn't have the ability to sing well or be weird or something like this. It's just being mediocre and lacking talent and ability, being a weak person. It's like he just uses AI. If he wants to have a song, he then just uses AI. And it reminds me of this guy, Bill Cuthbert, not a loser, immature. Where it's like he wants to make a video on a heretic, he did fart noises and vomiting sounds and flushing the toilet, and it's like so juvenile and pathetic to see like a little boy. Here comes little cyber stalking, I can tell. You're getting blocked, but I'm not playing games with you. You go try to play games with somebody else, cyber stalker. You're showing up to run interference on the stream because they're worried about me making streams reaching Christians. By analyzing the behavior of the program, I can tell that they're worried about me exposing ministries and making videos teaching and stuff. They seem to be concerned about that. Never interrupt anyone who's making a mistake. So anyway, here's the point. Jacksmack is a heretic. He teaches falsehood. He teaches that he can know 100% somebody's lost based on what they're currently teaching, when in reality you cannot know, because a person retains the sin nature upon salvation, which means if a person gets saved by believing the gospel once, they stay saved, but they retain the sin nature, which means that they are capable of committing any sin the lost person is capable of committing. Saying, doing, believing, feeling anything that a lost person can. So there is nothing that a person can say, do, feel, look like, act, that proves they lost. And some people don't like that. There is this arrogant, prideful thing like the Catholics, the Pope. Part of false religion is you need somebody to vet you, to know that you're saved or something like this. It's like some guy can know if you're good with God or not. And it's like this weird thing where it's like a Pope on YouTube. So Paul Washer could be a saved man. Paul Washer could be a saved man despite his heresy. And Jacksmack is not fit to teach due to his character and just by how wrong he gets things. He's wrong on fundamentals. He exhibits blindness to the fundamentals of the faith, like the two natures of the Christian. So, the truth is a person retains the sin nature for salvation. So a person can believe the gospel, get saved, and later on end up believing and teaching a false gospel. Meaning, a person can believe the gospel before they get on YouTube. Let's say they believe the gospel when they're 70 years old. And then 12 years later, they start a YouTube channel. And 10 years before starting a YouTube channel, they started believing false gospel. And they kept believing it. You get on YouTube, start preaching false gospel. And all you see from them is them preaching false gospel. So, a person retains the sin nature for salvation, which means that they are capable of committing any sin that the last person is capable of committing. So notice how it's like it's lordship salvation that it teaches, a form of lordship salvation. It's like I can know 100% this person is lost based on their fruits. They teach a false gospel. What is teaching heresy is a work of the flesh. Now the works of the flesh are manifest through these. There's a list of sins in there, the works of the flesh. And all works of the flesh are sins. Heresies is in there. So a person that said is capable of committing any sin that the last person is capable of committing, including but not limited to soteriological heresy, meaning heresy regarding salvation, how to get saved. So a saved person can be teaching a false gospel, which is why people don't know what to talk about, like me. When I deal with heretics to give false gospel, like Stephen Anderson, crap the gospel is in the spirit, or Raphael Cohen, crap the gospel is in the spirit, or anybody else, I never had a style going 100% this person is lost. Which means when I've dealt with Stephen Anderson, it's like, oh, he's got a false gospel, his crap the gospel is in the spirit. Which means he doesn't win souls. He does his soul winning marathons and posts about how many people get saved. Inflate his numbers. So it goes on like the cruise ship, soul winning marathon, and you know that this person teaches salvation by sin and spirit. Which means if he reports 1,000 people saved, maybe he got one person saved. Maybe one person got saved despite his false gospel. And somebody in the chat claiming to be the way, the truth, and the life, which is the same as saying that they are Jesus. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and life. No man comes not the Father but by him. So that's a blasphemy if you claim it to be the way, the truth, and the life. So, the truth is that a person can be saved and teach a false gospel because you retain your sin nature for salvation. So it's not that a truly saved person is going to be prevented by God from being able to believe and teach heresy. And people accept this heresy. Which means when I see people knowing doctrine, when I see people that are listening to modern perversion ministries like Andy Woods, or listen to people like Raphael Cohen or Jacksmack, and I see that the long-term supporters, that shows that they're immature. They're either carnal Christians or a lost person. So, Jacksmack is a heretic. He's a filthy heretic. Let him alone, for they be blind, these are the blind. If the blind did blind, the both shall fall into the ditch. So if you have somebody who exhibits blindness to the fundamentals as a Bible teacher, you deal with a blind lead of the blind. And if you're a blind forward blinded, you fall into the ditch. So the Bible teaches. And falling into the ditch is teaching about a destructive outcome. And I had a little cyber soak show up in the chat on interference on this. The text overall, spiritual Jew. That's an interesting way to introduce yourself and start a conversation in my chat. Just write something else like narcissistic word salad. It's not hello, but there's spiritual Jew is the comment. What a weirdo. You're getting blocked. I understand that you're worried about me making videos like this, because I actually have the ability to teach the truth. And most Christian ministries are pathetic. Like Andy Woods doesn't even know what the Bible is. Use the NSB 995. Uploads a false gospel's YouTube channel, Sinner's Prayer by Bill Federer. And it's like, Satan wants Christians listen to sellouts and keep Christians deceived and wrong on doctrine. So, and I understand that that's why I get so much harassment, because I'm dangerous to Satan and his agenda and the satanic deep state. So yeah, back to the topic. Jacksmack is a wicked heretic. He teaches heresy. He teaches a form of lordship salvation, where lordship salvation is typically taught like this. It's like, yeah, it's like through this, but I can see it's like this person is sinning too much, and that proves the loss. A truly saved person would not be sinning this much, or that they wouldn't be sinning in this way. There's a certain type, frequency, intensity of sin that proves that they're a lost person. See? There's a classical lordship stuff. And Jacksmack has his own form of lordship salvation. And I've also called it compartmentalized sinless perfectionism, or partial sinless perfectionism, which I coined that term. Which means if you look at what Jacksmack is teaching, he will deny lordship salvation as sinless perfectionism in its like most common forms. But he himself is guilty of having some form of it. Which like, if you actually think about it, he teaches a truly saved person cannot teach this heresy, a false gospel. They can't commit soteriological heresy. They can't be believing and teaching a false gospel. So if they do, that proves 100% they're lost. So that would mean that somehow God would keep you sinlessly perfect in this compartment of your walk. See, if he was right. That somehow God was it would be impossible somehow for a truly saved person to sin in this way. Soteriological heresy. A truly saved person, it would be impossible for them to believe and teach a false gospel. Somehow it's like they don't have the ability to sin in this way, which is what sinless perfectionists teach. That a truly saved person couldn't do this. A truly saved person couldn't be committing murder or this or that. And here's another person coming to chat. By the same person. They write that they are heathen and proud, and that they will not bow to the God of the Jews. Okay. Well, you look like a healthy person. You're gonna get blocked. So, Jacksmack77 is guilty of what I coined, what I term compartmentalized sinless perfectionism, where he's teaching that 100% this person is lost, going to hell. And what is he based it on? That they are teaching a false gospel. Because there's no way a truly saved person could be believing and teaching what this person is teaching. Which means he has to be teaching that, no, he is teaching it's impossible for a truly saved person to be doing this. And what are the things that they're saying they're doing that proves that they're lost? Heresy, so it's logical heresy, meaning teaching a false gospel. Now, one of the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. All of the works of the flesh are sins. And one of the sins listed is the sin of heresy, which includes, but it's not limited to, logical heresy, which means a saved person can believe and teach a false gospel. So, exposing Jackson. Maybe I end this and go live again, do part 2 with the chat turned off, because you seem to try to sabotage the stream, because your pathetic little shield masters are worried about Mike's equipped by God with actual teaching ability and knowing the truth. It's like, well, it's like this is dangerous for deep state seller puppets out here on YouTube. It's like somebody get on YouTube actually knowing the truth and being able to teach. It's hard for us to keep these shields being taken seriously if Mike is doing the job better. So Satan wants to keep Christians deceived and listening to false teachers teaching false doctrine. That's how we operate. So Jacksmack is a heretic. I've exposed him and proven him to be a heretic before. I got 3 likes and 5 views there right now. How does that feel, pussies? I remember Jacksmack's viewers came into one of my live streams. Jacksmack just made a video exposing you. And I go to check the video. In the comment section, Mike is live. He has 0 views right now. Something like this. Well, I just been live for 1 minute. So I already had 3 likes and I had 5 viewers watching. So, like, I might need to make more videos on Jacksmack, because there's a lot of people deceived by him. Now, the type of people are deceived by him long term and listen to him as fans, it's like almost like you feel like they're too far gone. Meaning, if you're a person who knows true doctrine and you've matured enough in the faith to be able to spot a false Bible, false gospel, a false fundamental teaching, and you see people like, oh, amen, yes, and it's like you can tell that he's so clearly wrong. It's like these people are not quality people. So false teachers, typically, most of the listeners are lost people, and the ones that are not lost are immature carnal Christians, because a mature believer is not going to be blind to and tolerate fundamental error, meaning people being wrong in fundamentals, like what the Bible is, what the gospel is, or something like that. A lot of these pastors don't like me either, because they sold out to the deep state out of cowardice, because they're scared to say no to powerful people. Like the powerful people in this world, the deep state. Which are people like Robert Baker, start persecuting for the deep state and do the Bible church. They're too weak and scared to say no to the body, need to bail and start helping the deep state to target me, because I'm a persecuted Christian. They don't like to be able to. They don't like to have to see like somebody who's better than them, like somebody, a Christian, that says no one has the courage to say no and resist the deep state. Robert Baker is now one of these Christian gang stalkers, a puppet, deep state puppet. So, Jacksmack77, it's not impossible to make another video where I play his videos and show you him teaching these heresies at some point. Now, the simple truth is this: a saved person is capable of committing any heresy the lost person is capable of committing. Any heretical sin, meaning a saved person can teach a false gospel. A saved person can believe and teach a false gospel and still be saved. Which means Jacksmack is wrong for teaching 100% this person is lost, going to hell. And there's something wrong with people that have this like witch hunt mentality of wanting to say everybody's lost, going to hell. I won't be surprised if Jacksmack has issues himself, like suppressed word that he might be lost or something like that. And he's worried about accusing everybody else of being lost, going to hell. So yeah, I actually have exposed Jacksmack as a heretic several times. And I already exposed him in this video by just speaking the truth. So I'm not making things up. Jacksmack has hundreds of videos. This person going to hell 100%. And what is they base it on? That the person is teaching a false gospel. Is it true that 100% certainty they are lost going to hell? Can he know that? No. Which means he's teaching falsehood. What you can know 100% is this is a false gospel. You can't know if somebody's saved or not based on what they're teaching. A saved person is capable of doing, saying, feeling anything the lost person is. Because you retain your sin nature post-salvation, which means when you get saved, it's not that you lose your sin nature and don't sin anymore. You're capable of committing any sin the lost person can. Another serious heresy of Jacksmack, as I said before, he's been teaching a false gospel, the crossless gospel, and he denies that because he's a wicked liar. So people that are heretics are working for Satan, and people that teach heresy are doing that in the flesh. Which means I'm not surprised that the person is like generally a deceitful, lying person. Because if they will rest the word of God and lie about the scriptures and things like this, it shouldn't surprise if they lie about lesser things. And unlike Jacksmack, I'm not a coward. Jacksmack is scared to show his face in his videos for some reason. He hides behind. He never shows his face. So what is the fear? Is he afraid he's going to get recognized and attacked? Is it that he's afraid of people making fun of his looks? And he's insecure about how fat and ugly he is? I don't know, but it is some kind of fear. He's a coward. Jacksmack is a coward. Jacksmack is like a 12-year-old. He's very immature. He's a very mature person. I gotta finish up.